Alan Hahn's Knicks Fix. He's in the Squarespace studio. Al Troutwig back on the Chase Bridge. Well, Doc Rivers certainly has been in the news lately. Let's talk about his future with the LA Clippers. The last couple of weeks, very interesting.
Yeah, some LA drama that was going on, Al, last week as rumors started to surface that Doc Rivers might be the future coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, as there's a lot of uncertainty going on right now with that franchise. But Doc Rivers put an end to those rumors pretty quickly when he told reporters before a recent game that he already agreed to a contract extension to remain with the Clippers. The belief was that he had an opt-out this summer, but he said, quote, "I'm going to be here until Steve Ballmer, who's the Clippers owner, says get out. I plan on being here a long time." Now, the team's they have not officially announced the extension, but he said that, Rivers said that he and Ballmer did have this discussion over the summer to have a longer contract extension to keep him the head coach. He's been with the Clippers since 2013, and he hasn't had a losing season in all 6 seasons. He's now overseeing a rebuild while they're still being a playoff team. So he's had great success there. It's been going on for him for 20 years. And the Lakers, if they are going to make a change from Luke Walton, well, they're going to have to go find somebody else.
Doc Rivers as a head coach, how did that get started?
It's a great story, actually. As we mentioned, it's now 20 years Doc Rivers has been a head coach. And he said recently when the Knicks were actually in LA playing the Clippers, he said it was the trade to the Knicks that really changed everything for him and really started him on the coaching path. He said that the trade changed his life. Remember, that was 1992. He was traded from the Clippers, ironically, with Charles Smith. He said, if I didn't play for Pat Riley, I don't get into coaching. Ian O'Connor of ESPN told a story about a blowout that Doc Rivers and Pat Riley had after the '94 season when the two got into a heated argument about his role and his usage in the future. And Rivers has referenced it throughout the career as well. They had such an argument. It got so loud. People thought to break into the coach's office to stop it. But it finally got quiet. And after it, Riley said, "You're so stubborn. You're going to be a great coach one day." Rivers said again, "I never thought about coaching, never really wanted to coach, but Riley kept telling me, you're going to coach." And he was right. He knew it all the time. Al, it's amazing how a coach can impact your life even well after your playing career.
Boy, those teams played so hard.
Yes, they did.
Missed those days. Okay, how should a Knicks fan be watching the NCAA tournament?
Just like a scout. At least that's what I'm doing. Sure, you have your bracket, but as you know, there's a lot of teams that are in the lottery, including the Knicks, and you're going to have players in the NCAA tournament that are worth watching that everybody's talking about in the upcoming NBA draft. So let's take a look at some players that I have been watching and will continue to watch. Zion Williamson, everybody knows about him. 25 points in his first-round win over North Dakota State. Consensus #1 overall pick. The only debate is what kind of impact will he have in the NBA. They play today against UCF. They have a 7'6" center named Taco Fall who says Zion's not going to posterize him. That's going to be must watch. Ja Morant really made a name for himself in the first game with a triple-double. In the second, they upset Marquette. In the second game, he still put up 28 points, but they lost. Averaged 22 points and 10 assists in the NCAA tournament. He's a guy whose stock really has risen. The rest here is R.J. Barrett from Duke. If he didn't have Zion on his team, R.J. Barrett would be arguably one of the best players in the country. A nice wing player. Jarrett Culver from Texas Tech, who's a team you have to watch in the tournament. Culver's a shooting guard, Big 12 Player of the Year, had 29, 8, and 7 in their first-round win over Northern Kentucky. And DeAndre Hunter from Virginia, remember last year, he was hurt right before the tournament, and Virginia had that big upset, that 1-16, the UMBC. Well, with Hunter back on the team, he had 23 points. They win in the first round, and that's certainly a team to keep an eye on, and he is as well in the draft.
It is time for Stat of the Night.
All right, I'll give you that stat. It's very simple. It's the number 3. And that's how many teams Wilson Chandler and Danilo Gallinari have been teammates. It all started here in 2008 when Gallo and Wilson Chandler were young players on the Knicks. And they played here through February 2011. They were both traded to the Denver Nuggets in the Carmelo trade. Then shortly after, a couple of years after that, I should say, not shortly, that Danilo Gallinari was traded to the Clippers. Well, Wilson Chandler ended up in the 76ers, and the Sixers made the trade for Tobias Harris, which sent Chandler to the Clippers, where Gallo is. So teammates again. Only one of their 10 years in the league have they not been teammates together again.